Well, how are we doing today, Linda?
Oh, we're hanging in there for a Friday.
You know, we should probably start recording all the stuff that we struggle with in the background, just so that people know that this may not necessarily be. Um,
At least with us, you get unfiltered.
yeah,
Once we go live, we go live. But
yeah,
we have
that's
just
true.
spent the last, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes trying to figure out a program that I use all the time. But I went brain dead. I'm like, I don't know how to get this information, and
Yep.
I do know how. I just decided not to be
Yeah.
easy today.
Yeah, it's funny. The brain decides not to work, right?
And then,
So,
of course, when you know you're on a timeline and you know you're doing this for something going forward,
right.
if I were just working, I'd have found it without any trouble. But
Right.
because I knew that there was something, people were waiting, da 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 da, deadlines, all of that. That's what your nerves do to you.
Yeah, I know. I know. So we're here today to talk about your upcoming program, Linda, and it's called the Support Equation:
Yeah,
awareness plus empathy plus action. And uh, you know, we know that the world we live in, everything is constantly changing, constantly moving. And I like your quote there: "Help others and keep your sanity." When you're focused on helping and helping others, you do become less aware of your struggles and trials and tribulations. Um, and I like this line in the description of your product. It says the support equation teaches you how to truly see, hear, and support others.
it does. And the important part of this is not just supporting others, but supporting others without losing yourself
Right.
in whatever they're going through. And most of us have a hard time with that.
Hmm.
Um, you know, if you look at the examples of your parents, your grandparents, the people around you, at least in my life, it was kind of like an all or nothing.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
there is so much that goes on in our world, even before now, but especially now. We want to be supportive of the people in our life that are having difficulties.
Hmm.
More than likely, we're having our own difficulties, and we
Yeah.
can't take their difficulty on top of ours and still be able to be functional and helpful to everyone.
Hmm.
And so that's what this program is about, is ways to excuse me, protect yourself and still be able to be of service to others the way you want to be.
Right. Right. Yeah. And we all know somebody that is either a caregiver or um, is in a position of leadership, or they've got a coworker or a friend that needs that support. But to truly hear what they're saying takes listening skills, and
Yes.
most of us don't have it. We technically listen, right? What is it, like 17 seconds, and we're ready to give an answer. But that's not what people are looking for, right? And so we have to truly learn how to hear. We have to really hear what they're saying, and then see them in the situation and the circumstances, correct? And
Correct. And I would say most people aren't looking for you to provide a fix.
right, right,
Um,
that is
it's
so
not
true.
it's not about fixing people.
Right.
Most people don't need fixed, or if there is something about them that needs fixed, that's not for you to do.
Right, right.
I mean, if you're a surgeon, you help fix bodies.
Hmm.
That's different. But with our listening skills, we need to learn to be fully in when we're listening. So that
Uh-huh.
means, if somebody's talking to you and they're having a really hard time, the phone needs to be on D&D and put away,
Right, right.
because there's nothing more demoralizing, I think, than you're pouring your heart out to someone who says they want to help you, but
Right.
they're really not. paying attention.
Right, right.
So
I
then,
think I think our electronics is our biggest distraction to actually having the proper empathy for people.
it is. And then, if you're talking to somebody, you're sitting down with your friend and she's got young kids, maybe that's not the best time to have that talk because she
Yeah,
does need to take care of her children.
yep,
But
yep,
that might also be that you need to get that out.
yeah, yeah,
There's a lot of give and take that needs to happen. And I think right now, people's empathy is way up.
yeah,
And some people who are empathetic as part of their nature, they're probably on overload right now.
yeah, yeah.
Um, People that maybe have not experienced empathy from others and are now experiencing empathy from others may not know how to accept that,
Hmm.
how to respond to that because it's something new for them.
Hmm.
Um, we're in a huge time of flux right now,
Right, right,
and we need to be able to help our fellow beings. And by helping them, we don't say, I'll carry that for you and let them go off and run free. And now you're carrying it.
now you're carrying it. Yeah, yeah,
Um, when you think about, I don't know if you ever, I'm a huge Monty Python fan, and I know Life of Brian has always been
hmm,
one of our favorites. I grew up Catholic, and my parents thought it was just a horrible movie, and I'm like, it's a parody. But when the one guy offers to carry Jesus's cross, or in that realm, and he takes the cross, and the guy leaves, and so now he's going to get.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like that's a huge overstatement, but there are people that do that.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
And that's not healthy for them. It's not healthy for their families. And the person you're helping, they get a brief reprieve,
right,
but they're not getting the help they need to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
right, right, right.
So, what this class is about is ways to, and they don't have to be big things. It's not like you're making somebody's monthly rent payments or anything like that. You know, there are very small things you can do
Right.
that can help other people that don't cost you money, don't cost you anything but a little bit of time.
Hmm.
But you need to, when you decide you're going to do this, you need to be full in while you're doing it.
Right, right.
And I think that's one of our biggest challenges between electronics and, I mean, we're coming into the holiday season. Everything is just, it's coming in that busy time of year. And it really is hard to stay focused on one thing at a time.
Hmm.
But think of how you are. If you've got an issue and you need someone to listen to you talk it out, you need them to listen, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So we need to be able to give that to someone else and not listen to respond with an answer, but just listen and allow them to dump.
Yeah,
You know,
sometimes all you need to do is have the empathy for them to understand where they're coming from, and unfortunately, here's where for those of you who you can generally tell whether a person is really listening to you or the person you're talking to is listening to you is if they have not been in the situation and they say things like, I know where you're coming from, I know how you feel. And because and I find this so true in my pastoral background. um, and I had pastor friends do this all the time. They would counsel somebody going through a divorce, for example. I know how you feel. I've coached or counseled so many. No, you don't.
no, you don't.
Hey,
But,
you aren't there.
and here's the thing, even if you have gone through that, we can never know 100% how someone feels. I think
Right,
that's one of the
right.
worst things we can say to him because I know a lot of people who have lost their spouses,
Hmm. Yeah,
and we do not sit down and say, I know how you feel,
right, right,
because
right.
each instance is different. The relationship
Right.
was different. The circumstances of loss was different. Everything is different. It's
Yeah.
similar, but
But different. Yeah.
and the person struggling doesn't they want to know they're not alone, but
Mhm.
they don't want the platitudes.
Right. Right. Right.
And so one of the things we go through in the course is appropriate things to say and not to say, appropriate ways to respond and inappropriate ways to respond.
Right.
And, you know, what if you're working with kids? I mean,
Yeah.
I cannot imagine what it's like to lose a child at any age.
No. Mm-mm.
I've lost siblings, I've lost parents, I've lost grandparents. I've never lost, thank God,
Mhm.
my child. I would never even begin to assume
To know. Yeah.
I would understand that grief.
Yeah. Right.
Just never. And when we work with the emotional intelligence part of that, which is part of the course, a lot of times we think that by saying we know how they feel, really what we're trying to do is make ourselves feel more comfortable in the
Right.
situation. And
Right.
so then suddenly the attention is turned to us instead of them. And that's not the point of this. I
Right.
mean,
Not at all. It's one of your statements here is blending emotional intelligence, self-care, and communication principles. Participants gain both the heart and the skill
yeah,
provide meaningful emotional support in every aspect of life, every sphere of life. And so, because there is a way to support, and there are things you can say and do, sometimes you say nothing, you just sit, you know?
and to be honest, I think most of the time that's the appropriate, at
Yeah.
least until you get a better feel for what's going on.
Mhm.
Um, I know personally from my experience that if someone has a huge heart, but they say the wrong thing to me,
Mhm.
that is more devastating to me than someone who seems to be very cold, but is more helpful.
Yeah. And a lot of times, there's underlying issues that until they come out, those underlying issues come out, a person is not going to truly heal. I know I have a really good friend that uh, struggles with an issue, and uh, he had well-meaning people tell him, look, it's time for you to get over this. Well, it's not
Mm.
something he's going to get over, but he says, I'm doing so much better. I'm doing so much better than this person did to do to do. And the fact of the matter is that he's not. There's an underlying issue, and he's a very dear friend. But I have not been able to determine what the underlying issue is, so that I can ask the right questions to get him to talk. Because until he talks it out, that
Right.
issue is going to be there, right? And it's not that I'm trying to fix him. I can't. But I listen, and a lot of times I hear the same story over and over again. And at some point in time, I know he's going to say, "What do you think?" Okay, because that's just the way our relationship is. But he's not ready to go forward and deal with whatever that underlying issue is.
And he may not even know what that is yet. And
Exactly.
here's the thing, this course, I'm not a therapist.
Right.
I am not a counselor. Those are not my areas of expertise. This course was built from personal experience of what I've received from
Hmm.
others. What
Yeah.
I've A lot of it is based on what my friend Lydia does for people. She has the hugest heart, um,
Hmm.
and without her, I would not be where I am today
Hmm.
and who I am today. And it's my way of paying that forward. Now, if I'm in a circumstance where it's obvious what that person needs is therapy. One of the things is during during this course, I'm not going to tell you to offer advice.
Hmm.
I don't think you should unless you
Right.
are an expert in that
Right.
particular
Right.
area. Um, because advice, no matter how well meant, if it's not
Yeah.
the right advice, is more devastating than no advice at all.
Yes. Yes.
And so that's kind of what this program does.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a 6-week program. We're going to go through various ways of, we're going to work on the skills. You'll get to do an EQ and DISC assessment, um, because knowing how you respond to things emotionally and learning how to read the personalities of others and how they respond emotionally
Hmm.
is very key. Even if you don't do this on a regular basis, it just
Right.
makes it, you'll be surprised at how more aware you become over small things. You know, the example I give is I was traveling home from Florida one day, and this lady was on the connecting flight with me, and she was in a wheelchair, and they wheeled her over to the gate, and the gate was in the dark, and that was the gate I was going to. And then I got a ping on my phone that the gate had changed. And, they were busy. So they wheeled over, left her there. It was dark, nobody was around. And so I could have just left her there and hoped somebody noticed she
Yeah.
was sitting at a gate by herself. Um, but I thought, let me just see, maybe she's on my connecting flight. So I went over and I checked, and she was. And so I just asked her, I said, do you mind? Would you like me to push you over to the new gate? We're on the same flight. And, I asked her if she needed something to eat, took her to the bathroom. And I did that just because it was a nice thing to do. I'm giving myself something to eat anyway. Why not help her?
Pay it forward.
And she wasn't overly gushing, and we didn't sit and talk and become best friends or anything. I have done that on other flights. but
Right.
but and then when the time came and she got to board first, she was like, "Oh, this lady's with me." Well, I did not do it for that. I had a very good boarding
Yep.
spot, but it was a no-brainer for
Yeah.
me.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person that if I think something's off, I'm nosy.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine, now I have seen people that go sit at dark gates because they want the peace and quiet, and they probably have a long layover, or maybe that's going to be their gate in like 3 hours.
Right. Right.
Um, but usually there's either other people over there, or
Yeah.
they're able to get around by themselves. They're not
Right.
in a
Right.
wheelchair trying to drag their luggage and do that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. So some of it is just bringing our awareness back into the human side of things.
Right.
So the link for, I think I put it in the comments, didn't I? Let me see if I can get my comments going. Sorry, guys. The link to enroll for that and get more information is coming up in the comments.
Okay.
Um,
Yep, there we go.
there we go. You can always email me at linda@livinglifesjourney.com if you have any questions. Um, this program starts on Monday, the 10th, and it goes for 6 weeks. So we will be done before Christmas, and it shouldn't interfere with Thanksgiving. I was very intentional about that because I was going to do it on our usual Thursday night slot, and that would have messed up Thanksgiving and Christmas
Yep.
big time. And I'm trying to travel for Thanksgiving. I don't know how that's going to go. So
There you go. So, so it starts on Monday, the 10th,
Monday the 10th.
the 10th of November, right?
Yes,
And what time?
it's 7 o'clock Eastern.
7 Eastern. Okay. Um, how long are the sessions?
They're an hour, give or take.
Okay.
And I'm doing it in my Grow Karma platform, which it's not just me talking to you for an hour. This is interactive. We've got exercises we're going to work on together. There's a community built in there so you guys can share information back and forth, ask questions back and forth, share wins, share ideas, and I keep an eye on that chat. So if somebody asks a question or has an issue that comes up, we can all share in there. It's kind of
Mhm.
like a Facebook group, only everything's in one place, so that if you
Right.
miss or you want to go back and revisit one of the sessions, they'll be in there, and this is lifetime access. So
Right.
um, it's a great place to get your feet wet and how to. With the holidays coming up, and the holidays are always.
Oh boy.
I mean, now don't. I'm not a negative person. I love the holidays, but I also know that there's a lot of stress and a lot of tension in the holidays, depending on your family dynamic, depending on what's going on with you.
Yep.
And right now, there's a lot of people struggling,
Yes.
and so there are ways to take part and enjoy the holidays without making people feel left out.
Right.
So that's what that's all about. Um, thanks for helping me promote Sam. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And
And so make sure if you're interested in this that you sign up. If you miss a week or something like that, the information is always there. This is a wonderful platform to create community and
yeah,
to connect with folks who are of like mind and who are looking to grow and looking to learn how to have the proper empathy and to be able to support folks around them.
and also to learn how to accept empathy and to kind of accept someone's maybe misguided attempts
Yes. Yes.
because
Exactly.
this time of year we get that a lot.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, Linda, it's been great talking to you today. Folks, I would encourage you to sign up. The link is in the comments and sign up and join Linda's program starting on the 10th.
Thanks.
We'll see you inside.